Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of the Crafty Dragonfly. My name is Stephanie and you can find me on Instagram and Pinterest as the Crafty Dragonfly. This episode is all about crochet, about what I'm working on, any finished makes and some happy post. And I might have introduced a new segment in the video, so stay tuned for that. It's just a bit of fun. So pause the video, grab yourselves a nice hot drink if you've not already got one, and come and join me for the next 20 minutes whilst I chat about all things crochet. So we'll start with, I have a new gadget, microphone, so to see if it makes any difference with the sound of the video, because I know it can be quite annoying if you're watching a video and you're put off a bit by the sound. So I'm hoping that this microphone makes a little bit of a difference anyway, so we'll see. I'm going to start with finished makes, and last week I mentioned to you about the little box of crochet, the August box, and that I wasn't going to make the duffel bag. I was going to turn it into a basket just for my own personal preference. Nothing wrong with the pattern. I love Kate Eastwood's designs, and that's part of my happy post today. So, but I just had a long, hard think about it and thought I want to use it every day. So this is what I mentioned last week, that I was going to turn it into a basket. So a nice floppy basket. So I've got all my minis in, which it's perfect for. So you can see there, I've got all my cotton minis. There's a little bit of gold there, that's for Christmas. But so as I finish projects, I'm going to pop them in here, and I know where they all are, and I can just grab them as I need them. So I'm pleased with it. It's really great. It does its job. It sits on the side so I can see it every day. And I've got quite a bit of yarn left over, as I mentioned last week, I think. So I could probably make another one, which I'm going to do, I think. And then because I have that much yarn, I'll have lots of leftover minis. So, but yeah, I'm really pleased with that one. And the next finished makes, I've posted these on Instagram a couple of days ago in front of the fire. Pumpkins, it's autumn, my most favourite season of the year, and I thought I would make some pumpkins to match our lounge. So really pleased with them. I'll link the pattern to the pumpkin in the description box below this video, and they're so cute. They're great. It's a really good pattern. It's really easy. I worked these two up in an afternoon, and I did this in an evening. It took me about an hour, I think, maybe less. I wasn't timing it, but yeah, they're really cute and they look lovely on the fireplace. So as I say, I'll link the pattern below. So that's my two finished projects. I'm hoping I'm not going too fast, but I'm trying to keep it to about 20 minutes or so, just so I don't bore you all. So those are my two finished projects, and I've got a work in progress, which is the Christmas blanket that I mentioned to you last week. And I've done a bit more on it. It's working up really lovely with the paint box Simply DK I'm using. It's a bit, there's not much to see at the moment. I understand that. It's the snow part of the pattern, so it's in white. The bobble row is done in a sparkly yarn, which I'm not sure whether the camera will pick that up. Hopefully it's picked it up a little bit, but it's working up really nicely. I've got a few more rows to go for the snow section, and then it moves on to the sky, and then you crochet the other pieces of the blanket. You crochet separately and then you sew those on, so I'm looking forward to that bit. And I'll obviously keep you updated each week with it, and it will be finished before Christmas, thankfully. The stitch marker is a lovely Christmas stitch marker I've got, and if you can see it, I'll try and hold it up carefully for the camera to pick it up. I'm hoping you can see that okay. And if not, I'll pop a close-up picture of it somewhere on the screen so you can see it properly. And this is from a lovely maker, Amanda, from Mrs. G Makes, and that's part of my happy post, so I'll talk about Amanda a little bit more in a minute. But Christmas stitch marker on a Christmas blanket, so that's lovely. So I'll keep you updated with that, and hopefully I'll have a bit more, I'll be on to the sky by next week so you can see a bit of colour. There's one thing I will say, and I'm using Paintbox Simply DK for this. Now, thinking back, this is 2 years ago this blanket was brought out by Kate. But thinking back, the Aran weight that she suggests in the pattern wasn't in stock, and because I wasn't very patient at the time, I bought Simply DK. Now, Paintbox yarn is lovely, it's working up a treat, but it probably is going to work up a little bit smaller than what the finished dimensions say in the pattern. So I'll let you know about that, just in case you were thinking of using DK. Maybe you've got it in your yarn stash. But I will let you know about that and how big it does actually go. The purpose for me making this blanket was really just to have it on display so that you can admire it rather than, you know, snuggle under it, because I do have other blankets for that. So I'll let you know how I get on with that anyway. I'm just going to grab a bit of tea. It's very cold here today, very sunny but cold. It was frosty on the shed roof this morning, so that's how cold it is. But what lovely things to do is to work on a blanket, for instance, put it on your knee while you're doing it. It's great. So anyway, I'm digressing. Before I show you my happy post, I'm going to work the fun segment in that I talked about in my at the beginning, and this is a creative section of the video, creative segment, whatever you want to call it. And this is when we don't, I'm not going to say I've got it wrong or it's a failure, because I don't like using that word. I'm trying to stay very positive. So it's a creative error, I'm going to call it. And that means that I've done something slightly quirky. It's still well loved, and I have named him. He is a pumpkin, if you've not guessed that already, and he's called Percy. So have a look at Percy. He was the first pumpkin I made the other day, and I made him up and then put him on the desk, and I thought, it just looks a bit strange, looks really odd, that. And then, because the ridged part of the pattern is supposed to be vertical, and I'd worked it up horizontally because I'd pieced it together and I'd sewed it down the wrong side. So it looks like a barrel if you look at it head on like that. It's got two ends. So these two ends here should be the top and the bottom. Then you sew it in and it presses in and squishes down. So I just put it to one side and I started work on another one. And then I had a light bulb moment, which I do get some of them sometimes. And I thought, no, I can still make it into a pumpkin. So I pressed it down and thought, no, I'll just sew it. So I did, and put a stalk on and some little eyes and named him. And then that's just like a bit of fun. So he's called Percy because I didn't want to throw him away. and he's going to sit here with my other amigurumi makes, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably have creative errors every week, or if, you know, whenever, and I will share them with you, because I just think that when you're making something, it doesn't always turn out how you want it to turn out, and without making those errors, creative errors I like to call them, without making them, you don't learn. So that's what I'm going to tell myself when I do anything slightly quirky. So moving on to Happy Post, I bought some stitch markers from Amanda at Mrs. G Makes on Instagram. I'll leave a link to her Instagram in the description box below the video. That's the card. She sends a lovely business card, and she always puts like a little note on the back, so I really do like that. And unfortunately I've taken them off the cards. She sends them on a lovely card, and if you look on her Etsy shop, the photographs that she shows you, sometimes they're on a card. So, but I've taken them off and then realised I needed to show you. So what I'll do is I'll just hold a couple up. So I've bought 3 sheep. So these are the first 2. And I bought a ladybird. So this is the other sheep and the ladybird. And they're really well made. Like that, yep. And then this one has a number on it, a number 4. And what that's for is if you're making something, and this is a 4mm hook size. So if I was making a project that has been sat waiting to be finished for the past 2 years, for instance, which I do have some, I would pop that in the project, and then when I came to start making it again, I would know what size hook I was to use. And because I've done that before now, I've put projects away, I've come back to them, the pattern's not there, and I've thought, what size hook did I use? So that's a really good idea. So thanks, Amanda, for that. And she's really quick at posting as well, so that's good. And last but by no means least, I'll just have a quick drink, is Kate Eastwood's new book, The Crocheted Home, or Crocheted Home. I pre-ordered this, so I got it earlier in the week, and it's absolutely beautiful. The photography in it is lovely. All the patterns are really, really nice, and I want to make everything in it immediately. So what I'll show you, the pictures I'm showing you, she's already done sneak peeks on Instagram, so I'm not showing you anything that you shouldn't be seeing. So that's the textured blanket, and I love that. That's done in a lovely stitch. So with pom-poms, and I have a pom-pom maker which I haven't used yet. With it is a matching cushion, and what I'm just trying to get used to covering pages up that have patterns written on. Oops. So that's the cushion. So that's lovely. That's matching, so I'll do that. And there's an autumn cushion, which I'm hoping to start soon, actually, staying in the theme of pumpkins and autumn. So if I can just cover that up, and that's the autumn cushion. So that looks lovely. And this just, it's a beautiful book. Like I say, everything in it is lovely. And Kate, her patterns are really easy to understand, and she doesn't use too many complicated stitches, so for me that's great. I've bought lots of books in the past, craft books, that I've started to look at them and then I've been put off by how complicated they all seem, so I just put them away and they don't get used. But this book and Kate's other book that I've got, the crocheted wreaths and garlands, is very easy to read as well. And lastly, I'll show you that one. That's the Christmas garland. I'm really, really pleased with it. Very keen to get started with it. And, oh, let me just show you this last bobbly sofa throw, because this is another one I want to make. There's just not enough hours in the day. That's what it is. But I'm really pleased with it. And there's Christmas ideas in here, so watch out, family. There might be some coming your way that I'm more than happy to gift. So yeah, really, really pleased with that. And I think that's it. I think I'm all finished, and hopefully I've not missed anything out. If I have, I'll talk about it in next week's video. I have more or less finished the cushion cover the Daisy Square cushion cover that I was working on last week. I've more or less finished it, but I might as well save that for next week's video, and then anything else I can try and finish and get sorted and share with you. So I'm hoping you've enjoyed this video. I'm really grateful to everybody that watches and any comments you like to make. And if there's anything you're making at the moment, I'd love to know what it is. If you've made the Christmas blankets of Kate's, I'd love to know. You could perhaps send a picture, and it would just be nice to see what everybody else is working on. And I really am grateful for you subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd be very grateful if you could. It pushes me up the YouTube rankings a little bit, that you have to have so many videos, so many likes, so much watch time, and I'm way down the list, I'm sure, at the moment. I've only just started, so because there are lots and lots of wonderful channels out there that they're very experienced and they share lots of things. So I'm just enjoying myself at the moment, just making things, working through my works in progress and sharing them with everybody. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.